your unseen power. Introduction. There is an incredible power within you, a force so profound that it can shape your reality, transform your circumstances, and elevate your life beyond anything you have imagined. This power is not something you must seek outside yourself. It has always been a part of you, waiting to be recognized and activated. Yet, most people go through life unaware of it, living under the illusion of limitation, struggle, and powerlessness. They search for answers in the external world, believing that success, happiness, and fulfillment come from outside sources, when in truth, everything they need has been within them all along. The challenges and obstacles we face in life are not meant to defeat us but to awaken us. They serve as reminders that we have yet to fully embrace our inner strength. Many live under the weight of fear, doubt, and conditioned beliefs that tell them they are not enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. But these limitations are illusions, created by the mind and reinforced by society. The reality is that every individual possesses within them an unlimited reservoir of strength, wisdom, and creative energy that, when properly understood and harnessed, can transform their entire existence. Awakening this power does not mean avoiding difficulties or seeking an effortless life. True power is not about escaping challenges, but about rising above them. It is about developing the inner strength to face adversity with confidence, knowing that no obstacle is greater than the power within. This shift in perspective, from fear to faith, from limitation to boundless potential, marks the beginning of a profound transformation. To awaken this power, one must first recognize its existence. This requires breaking free from the mental barriers that keep us trapped in self-doubt and learning to trust in the limitless potential that resides within. It requires a deep understanding that we are not separate from the greater force that governs the universe. We are one with it, and because of this oneness, we have access to the same creative energy that moves the stars, fuels life, and shapes destinies. Once this realization takes root, everything changes. Life ceases to feel like a series of random events and instead becomes a purposeful journey of growth and creation. Circumstances no longer control us. We begin to shape them. We no longer seek power from the outside world. We cultivate it from within. This is the path to true transformation, the awakening of the limitless potential that has always been and always will be within you. Chapter 1. The invisible force that shapes your life. There is an unseen energy that flows through everything, through the vastness of the universe, through the silent rhythm of nature, and most importantly, through you. It is the same force that orchestrates the rising of the sun, the unfurling of a flower, and the steady beating of your heart. This energy is not something separate from you. It is you. It has been with you since the moment of your birth, guiding your growth, sustaining your existence, and waiting for you to recognize its presence. Most people go through life unaware of this force. They attribute their successes and failures to luck, fate, or external circumstances, believing that life happens to them rather than through them. But just as a tree does not question the unseen power that moves water through its roots or fuels its growth toward the sky, you too are constantly being nourished by an invisible energy that shapes your life in ways beyond what the eyes can see. Consider for a moment the life of a tree. Above the ground, you see its branches stretching wide, its leaves shimmering under the sunlight. But beneath the surface, hidden from view, an intricate network of roots extends deep into the earth, drawing nourishment and anchoring the tree firmly in place. Without these roots, the tree would not survive. It would wither under the scorching sun, collapse in the face of strong winds, and struggle to sustain itself. Yet the roots remain unseen, working tirelessly in silence, providing the strength and foundation necessary for the tree to grow and thrive. You are no different. Within you lies an unseen power, your inner force, that when properly nurtured has the potential to transform your entire life. This power is not external. It does not come from wealth, status, or the validation of others. It does not depend on circumstances or luck. It exists within you, waiting to be acknowledged and activated. Just as the roots of a tree work beneath the surface, this force is always present, guiding, strengthening, and sustaining you, even when you are unaware of it. Yet why do so many people feel powerless? Why do they struggle through life, feeling as if they are at the mercy of external forces beyond their control? The answer is simple. They have forgotten their connection to this inner energy. They have been conditioned to believe that power comes from outside sources, society, achievements, material wealth, rather than from within. This false belief keeps them searching endlessly for something that has been inside them all along. But the truth remains unchanged. The power within you is real. It is the same force that has carried you through your darkest moments, the same energy that has given you the strength to rise after every fall. It is the quiet voice that has whispered to you in moments of doubt, urging you to keep going. It is the wellspring of resilience that has helped you overcome hardships, the guiding light that has led you toward growth and transformation. Awakening to this force does not require anything outside of yourself. It does not require wealth, status, or extraordinary circumstances. It simply requires a shift in awareness, a recognition that you are already connected to something far greater than what your physical senses perceive. The moment you begin to acknowledge this truth, everything changes. Suddenly you stop feeling like a victim of life's circumstances and start seeing yourself as a co-creator of your reality. You realize that, just like a tree, you have the ability to grow, thrive, and withstand the storms of life. Not because the world outside of you changes, but because you become stronger from within. You begin to understand that every challenge, every setback, and every obstacle is not a sign of your weakness, but an opportunity for your inner strength to emerge. So how do you begin to tap into this unseen force? How do you nourish the roots of your inner power so that you too can grow to your fullest potential? Awareness is the first step. You must acknowledge that you already possess the power, resiliency, and potential that a tree naturally understands to reach for the richest soil. This power gets stronger the more you recognize it. Trust is the second step. A tree just has faith in the natural order of things. It doesn't wonder if the sun will rise or if it will rain. Similarly, you have to learn to believe in your own power, knowing that it is always working for you, even if you can't see the results just yet. Alignment is the third phase. You must connect your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the knowledge that you are incredibly powerful, just like a tree leans toward the sun. This entails letting go of constricting ideas, substituting certainty for uncertainty, and approaching each day with the understanding that you have the power to influence your reality. When you begin to live in alignment with this inner force, you will notice a shift. Opportunities will appear where before there were only obstacles. Strength will rise within you where once there was fear. A deep sense of peace and confidence will replace anxiety and doubt. And most importantly, you will begin to see that the power to create, transform, and elevate your life was never something you had to find. It was always something you had to awaken. Your journey begins now. The power within you is real and it is waiting. Will you choose to awaken it? Chapter 2. The Illusion of Limitations. From the moment we are born, we begin absorbing the world around us. As children, we are filled with boundless curiosity, limitless imagination, and an innate belief that anything is possible. We do not question our potential. We dream of flying, of exploring the stars, of achieving greatness. But as we grow, something happens. We start to hear the word no. We are told what we can and cannot do, what is and isn't possible, what is realistic and what is just a fantasy. Slowly, the world conditions us to believe in limits, not because they truly exist, but because we have been taught to see them. These beliefs, ingrained from childhood, become invisible walls that shape our reality. We accept them as truth, unaware that they are nothing more than illusions. We begin to define ourselves by these restrictions. I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not talented enough. Success is for other people, not for me. And so, without realizing it, we create a cage around ourselves, built not of iron bars but of thoughts, fears, and conditioned beliefs. But what if these limits were never real in the first place? The limitations we perceive are not set by reality, but by perception. From an early age, we are influenced by parents, teachers, society, and culture. We are taught what is acceptable, what is safe, and what is out of reach. A child who is constantly told they are not good at math will likely struggle with it, not because they lack ability, but because they have absorbed the belief that they are incapable. A person raised in an environment where wealth is seen as unattainable may spend their life struggling financially, not because opportunity does not exist, but because their mind has been conditioned to expect lack rather than abundance. These beliefs are not reflections of true potential. They are echoes of external influences, passed down from generation to generation, reinforced by societal norms and accepted without question. And yet, despite their power over us, they are not real. They are constructs of the mind, and like any mental construct, they can be changed. Reality is shaped by belief. The way we perceive the world determines the opportunities we see, the risks we take, and the actions we choose. Those who believe in their ability to succeed will find ways to make it happen, while those who doubt themselves will unconsciously sabotage their own progress. The only difference between someone who achieves greatness and someone who remains stuck is their mindset. History is filled with examples of individuals who shattered perceived limitations. People who were told they could not succeed, who faced rejection and adversity, yet refused to accept the constraints placed upon them. They understood something most people do not. Limitations exist only in the mind. Consider an elephant raised in captivity. As a baby, it is tied to a stake in the ground. It tries to break free but is too weak. Over time, it stops trying. When the elephant grows into a powerful adult, it could easily uproot the stake. But it doesn't. It has been conditioned to believe escape is impossible, even though the physical limitation no longer exists. Humans are no different. We carry mental chains, ideas of what we can't do, when in reality, we have always had the power to break free. The first step to overcoming limitations is recognizing that they are illusions. The moment they are questioned, their power begins to fade. Where did these beliefs come from? Were they ever tested? The simple act of questioning a limitation weakens its hold. The next step is to actively search for evidence that contradicts it. If a person believes they are not creative, they can reflect on moments of inspiration, however small, that prove otherwise. If someone thinks success is beyond their reach, they can study those who have achieved it, despite similar circumstances. Once a limiting belief is seen for what it is, it must be replaced with a new, empowering one. A mind that has been conditioned to see obstacles must be retrained to see opportunities. Instead of thinking, "I am not capable," one must affirm, "I am constantly growing and improving." Instead of believing that success is reserved for others, one must internalize the truth that success is a result of persistence, belief, and aligned action. The mind is like a muscle. What it is trained to believe, it will accept as reality. If it is fed thoughts of strength, possibility, and confidence, the external world will begin to reflect these beliefs. Imagine a life where barriers no longer exist, a life where fear no longer dictates choices, where doubt no longer paralyzes action, and where the pursuit of dreams is not hindered by artificial constraints. This is not a fantasy. It is a reality available to anyone willing to see beyond the illusion of limitation. No one is born to live a restricted life. The power to shape destiny has always been within us. The only thing standing between a person and their highest potential is the belief that limits are real. But now the truth is known. Those limits never existed. And the moment they are let go, the path to boundless potential is revealed. Chapter 3. The Power of Thought, the Blueprint of Reality. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas that pass through your mind and disappear. They are the architects of your reality, shaping the circumstances of your life, determining your experiences, and influencing every step of your journey. The mind is like fertile soil, and thoughts are the seeds planted within it. Whatever is sown will eventually grow, whether it be weeds of fear and doubt or blossoms of success and fulfillment. Most people move through life unaware of this fundamental truth. They believe their thoughts are insignificant and that their circumstances are dictated by fate, luck, or the actions of others. But the reality is that the world they experience is a direct reflection of the dominant thoughts they hold. Everything that exists in life begins first as a thought. The greatest inventions, the most powerful movements, and the most significant achievements all started in the mind before they became reality. A thought is the first spark in the creative process, the invisible force that precedes all tangible results. Imagine a sculptor standing before a massive block of stone. To the untrained eye, it is nothing more than a heavy, lifeless object, but to the sculptor, it is a masterpiece waiting to be revealed. With each strike of the chisel, the excess is removed, and the vision within begins to take form. The sculptor does not create the masterpiece from nothing. It was always there, hidden beneath the rough exterior, waiting to be uncovered. In the same way, your reality is shaped by the thoughts you choose to entertain. Every idea, belief, and mental image is a stroke of the chisel, carving out the life you will ultimately experience. If a sculptor were to work carelessly without a clear vision, the result would be chaotic and without form. Similarly, when the mind is left uncontrolled, filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, it creates a reality that mirrors that confusion. Thoughts of failure and limitation manifest as struggles and missed opportunities. Worries about lack and scarcity become financial hardship. Expectations of disappointment attract experiences of frustration and loss. The mind does not discriminate. It simply brings forth whatever it is given, shaping the external world in the image of internal thought patterns. But just as a sculptor can refine and reshape their work, so too can the mind be trained to create a new reality. When thought patterns shift, life begins to transform. The moment you start to consciously direct your thoughts, you take control of the blueprint of your life. Thoughts of strength and confidence create resilience. Beliefs in abundance attract prosperity. A mindset of gratitude and optimism opens doors where before there seemed to be none. As the mind aligns with new possibilities, the external world responds in kind, arranging circumstances and opportunities that match this new way of thinking. This is not about wishful thinking or empty positivity. It is about understanding the law that governs the mind. A sculptor cannot simply hope for a masterpiece to emerge without action, nor can an individual expect life to change without first reshaping the foundation of their thoughts. The process requires patience, persistence, and unwavering belief. Doubts may arise, just as a sculptor may make mistakes along the way, but with continued effort and refinement, the vision begins to take form. Many allow their thoughts to be shaped by external influences, by past failures, by the opinions of others, and by the limitations imposed by society. But those who understand the power of thought recognize that they alone are the sculptors of their destiny. They do not allow temporary setbacks to dictate their future, nor do they let fear determine their actions. They hold firmly to the vision of what they wish to create, knowing that with each thought, they are molding their reality into existence. Life does not happen by chance. It is a continuous act of creation, unfolding in accordance with the dominant thoughts that occupy the mind. The choice is always present, to remain a passive observer, allowing thoughts to run unchecked and shape life at random, or to become an intentional creator, directing thoughts with purpose and precision to build the life truly desired. The greatest sculptors do not see stone as a limitation, but as an opportunity. Likewise, those who master their thoughts do not see obstacles as barriers, but as raw material, waiting to be shaped into something greater. The power to create, to transform, and to rise beyond any challenge has always been within me. It begins with a single thought, held with conviction, and followed by action. Through this process, the masterpiece of life is carved into existence, revealing the boundless potential that has been there all along. Chapter 4. The Disconnect. Why Most People Feel Powerless. There is within every person an infinite source of strength, wisdom, and creative power, yet most people go through life feeling stuck, lost, or powerless. They long for change, but no matter how hard they try, something always seems to hold them back. Despite their dreams and aspirations, they find themselves trapped in cycles of struggle, doubt, and frustration. The question is, why? If the power to shape life exists within, why do so few seem able to access it? The answer lies in the disconnect, the separation people feel between themselves and the greater force that governs life. This separation is not real, but it feels real because of the layers of conditioning, distraction, and self-doubt that obscure the truth. From the moment a person is born, they are taught to look outward for answers. Society conditions individuals to believe that success, happiness, and fulfillment are things to be pursued externally. The mind becomes fixated on material achievements, status, and the validation of others, believing that these things will bring lasting satisfaction. However, in chasing after these external rewards, people lose touch with their inner power. They forget that true strength does not come from the world. It comes from within. Distractions play a significant role in reinforcing this disconnect. In a world filled with noise, endless entertainment, and constant stimulation, few take the time to be still and listen to the quiet voice within. The mind becomes restless, always seeking something outside itself to fill the emptiness. Social media, news, and the demands of daily life keep attention focused on the external, leaving little room for self-awareness. The more distracted a person becomes, the further they drift from their inner self. They begin to feel disconnected, uncertain, and powerless, not realizing that this feeling is simply the result of being out of alignment with their true nature. Self-doubt is another powerful force that deepens this sense of separation. Over time, repeated failures, disappointments, and negative experiences create the belief that one is not strong enough, not worthy enough, not capable enough. These thoughts, when accepted as truth, form mental barriers that block access to inner power. A person who believes they are weak will act accordingly. A person who believes they are incapable will not attempt to rise. The mind becomes imprisoned by these false ideas, reinforcing the illusion that life is something that happens to them rather than something they have the power to shape. But the good news is this: the disconnect is an illusion, and it can be reversed. The power that seems lost has never actually disappeared. It has only been forgotten. Like the sun hidden behind the clouds, it remains ever present, waiting for awareness to clear away the mental fog. The first step to reclaiming this power is to recognize that it has never truly been absent. The belief in separation is what creates powerlessness. The moment a person realizes they are not separate from the universal force that sustains all life, the illusion begins to dissolve. Reconnection starts with stillness. Just as a turbulent lake cannot reflect the sky, a restless mind cannot perceive the truth. Taking moments of silence, turning inward, and becoming fully present allow the deeper self to emerge. Through quiet reflection, the realization dawns that strength, wisdom, and guidance are already within. Answers that seemed elusive suddenly become clear. Solutions that once felt impossible reveal themselves effortlessly. The power that was thought to be lost begins to stir, no longer buried beneath layers of doubt and distraction. Dispelling the myths that have given the impression of helplessness is the second step. It is necessary to scrutinize and substitute the truth for every notion of limitation and belief in inadequacy or failure. The mind may be trained to see strength just as easily as it has been trained to perceive weakness. What earlier appeared to be an insurmountable barrier is frequently really a mental construct, a reflection of prior training rather than a real restriction. A person's inner strength starts to increase the moment they decide to believe in it. Lastly, trust is necessary for reconnection. A person must push past self-imposed boundaries in order to realize their full potential, much as a seed must sprout before it can reach the light. This necessitates having trust in the process and understanding that change is occurring beneath the surface, even if outcomes are not immediately apparent. The sense of helplessness dissipates with every stride forward and is replaced with the knowledge of limitless strength. The infinite power that controls everything and the person are inseparable. The sensation of disconnection is simply the outcome of believing in restriction rather than opportunity and looking outside rather than inward. The power inside has always been there. It has just been waiting to be recognized. A person awakens to a life of strength, purpose, and limitless possibility the instant they returns their consciousness to this reality. Chapter 5. Awakening the Power. The Shift in Awareness. The moment a person realizes they are not separate from the great force that moves the universe, everything begins to change. Until that realization, life often feels like an endless struggle, an uphill battle against circumstances, people, and even fate itself. But this struggle exists only because of the illusion of separateness, the false belief that one is alone, powerless, and at the mercy of external forces. When this illusion is lifted, when a person truly understands their connection to the infinite, a transformation occurs that alters the very foundation of their existence. True transformation does not begin with external achievements, material success, or the validation of others. It begins with self-awareness. It begins the moment a person stops looking outward for power and starts looking inward. To the unawakened mind, life is filled with limitations. There is always something missing, something unattainable, something beyond reach. But to the mind that has awakened to its true nature, limitations dissolve. The barriers that once seemed immovable are revealed to be nothing more than mental constructs, shadows cast by doubt, fear, and conditioned beliefs. The awakened individual does not see life as a series of obstacles, but as an unfolding journey of infinite possibility. A man once lived with constant frustration, feeling as though life had conspired against him. Every effort he made to improve his circumstances seemed to be met with resistance. He envied those who appeared to move through life with ease, those for whom success and happiness seemed natural, while he remained trapped in a cycle of struggle. He blamed circumstances, misfortune, and even fate for his difficulties, never realizing that the true source of his suffering lay not in the world outside him but within his own mind. One day, after exhausting every external attempt to change his life, he turned inward. In a rare moment of stillness, he asked himself a question he had never considered before. What if the world is not against me? What if my struggles are not caused by external forces but by the way I see them? This thought, simple yet profound, planted a seed of realization. He began to see that every challenge he faced was not an enemy, but a lesson. Every failure was not a punishment, but an opportunity to grow. As this shift in awareness deepened, he noticed something remarkable. The things that once frustrated him no longer held the same power. The same difficult people, the same obstacles, and the same uncertainties still existed, but they no longer controlled his emotions. Instead of reacting with anger, he responded with understanding. Instead of resisting change, he embraced it. And as his thoughts changed, so did his reality. He started to experience a new sense of clarity. Opportunities that he once overlooked became visible. Situations that once seemed impossible now felt manageable. His energy shifted from one of struggle to one of flow. He no longer saw himself as a victim of circumstance, but as the creator of his life. This did not mean that hardships disappeared overnight, but his relationship with them had transformed. No longer did he view them as barriers. He saw them as stepping stones to a greater version of himself. This is the nature of awakening. The external world does not suddenly transform. It is the inner world that changes first. And when the inner world shifts, everything else follows. The realization that one is not separate from the infinite source of power, that this power is not something to be sought after, but something that has always existed within, is the beginning of a new way of living. Most people spend their lives searching for strength, happiness, and fulfillment outside themselves, never realizing that what they seek has been within them all along. They look to external achievements, material possessions, and the approval of others, hoping these things will bring a sense of wholeness. But true power is not found in the external. It is not something that can be gained, only something that can be realized. The moment a person becomes aware of this truth, their entire life changes. The shift in awareness is like the rising of the sun. In darkness, everything appears uncertain, unfamiliar, and full of fear. But as the light emerges, clarity replaces confusion, and what was once hidden becomes visible. The struggles that once seemed overwhelming lose their weight. The doubts that once held a person back no longer seem relevant. The realization dawns that nothing outside has changed, only perception has shifted. Awakening to this power does not require years of study, endless searching, or waiting for the right moment. It requires only a willingness to look within and recognize what has always been there. The power that moves the universe is the same power that moves within every individual. There has never been a separation, only the illusion of one. And when that illusion fades, life is no longer something to be feared or endured, but something to be embraced with confidence, purpose, and limitless possibility. Chapter 6. 3 Steps to Unlocking Your Inner Power. Awakening your inner power requires conscious effort, a shift in awareness, and a willingness to break free from the illusions that have kept it hidden. The first step in unlocking this immense potential is learning to silence the noise. The modern world is filled with distractions, constant activity, endless information, and a never-ending pursuit of external validation. The mind, caught in this whirlwind, becomes restless, unable to focus on the deeper truths within. It is in the stillness that true power reveals itself. Just as a lake can only reflect the sky clearly when its waters are calm, the mind must be quieted for inner wisdom to emerge. This silence is not merely the absence of sound, but the removal of unnecessary mental clutter. It is stepping away from the distractions of the world, creating space for self-reflection, and allowing the deeper self to be heard. In this stillness, clarity arises. The individual begins to sense the greater force within, the guiding presence that has always been there, but was drowned out by the noise of external influences. Once the mind has been quieted, the next step is to reprogram it. For years, most people have unknowingly conditioned themselves with limiting beliefs, false ideas about what is possible, what they are capable of, and what life can offer. These beliefs, formed from past experiences, societal conditioning, and self-imposed doubt, act as invisible barriers, keeping the individual trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. But just as the mind was conditioned to accept these limitations, it can be reconditioned to embrace possibility, strength, and boundless potential. Every thought is a seed planted in the subconscious, growing into the reality that is experienced. Negative thoughts produce struggle and stagnation, while thoughts of strength, confidence, and success create a life of abundance and purpose. To change reality, one must first change the way one thinks. Instead of entertaining doubt, the mind must be filled with affirmations of power. Instead of dwelling on fear, it must focus on certainty. As the mind is reprogrammed with empowering beliefs, the external world begins to shift accordingly. The final step in unlocking inner power is learning to align with the flow of life. Most people resist life, fighting against circumstances, doubting the process, and forcing outcomes according to their limited understanding. This resistance creates tension, struggle, and frustration. But true power is not about controlling every detail. It is about trusting the greater intelligence that governs all things. Just as a river flows effortlessly toward its destination, carrying everything with it in perfect harmony, life moves in a natural rhythm, guiding each person toward their highest potential. The key is to align with this flow, to trust that every experience, whether joyful or challenging, is leading toward something greater. When this trust is cultivated, struggles lose their weight. Setbacks are no longer seen as failures, but as necessary steps in a larger unfolding. Fear dissolves, replaced by a deep knowing that everything is happening as it should. Unlocking inner power is not about acquiring something new, but about removing the barriers that have concealed it. By silencing the noise, reprogramming the mind, and aligning with the natural flow of life, the individual steps into their true strength. The power they once sought in the world outside is revealed to have been within them all along, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Chapter 7. Signs you are stepping into your power. How do you know when you are on the right path? How can you tell when the power within you is no longer dormant, but fully awakened? The signs of personal transformation are unmistakable. They are not always dramatic or immediate, but they emerge subtly, steadily, revealing themselves through the way life begins to unfold. Once you step into your true power, a shift occurs, not only in your internal world, but in everything around you. Life no longer feels like an uphill battle. It begins to flow with an effortless rhythm, as though the universe itself is working in harmony with your desires. An unwavering sense of confidence is among the initial indications of awakening. This is a profound, peaceful awareness that you are powerful, capable, and in alignment with something bigger than yourself, rather than conceit or a short-lived motivational spike. Your old doubts no longer hold you back. Fear that you can't control your decisions after you're immobilized, because you no longer perceive problems as barriers rather than because they no longer exist. You have a renewed confidence in your capacity to overcome them. You accept challenges instead of fighting them, realizing that everyone is a chance to improve. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. What previously seemed unachievable now feels doable. With this confidence comes clarity. The mind, once clouded by confusion and uncertainty, becomes sharp and focused. Decisions that once felt overwhelming become effortless because you are no longer ruled by fear or external pressure. You begin to trust your intuition, recognizing that the answers you once searched for outside of yourself were always within. The need for constant validation fades because you no longer depend on the opinions of others to determine your worth. You are guided by an inner compass, a quiet but powerful sense of direction that leads you exactly where you need to go. Another unmistakable sign of transformation is the presence of synchronicities, those moments of perfect timing, the unexplainable coincidences that seem to confirm you are on the right path. The right opportunities appear at just the right moment. People who can help you move forward enter your life unexpectedly. Obstacles that once seemed immovable dissolve without effort. What once required struggle now unfolds naturally, as though the universe is responding to your energy. These synchronicities are not accidents. They are a reflection of your inner alignment. When you step into your power, life begins to mirror your newfound state of being. There is also a profound shift in your emotional state. Negativity, anxiety, and frustration no longer have the same hold over you. This does not mean that challenges disappear or that life becomes free of difficulties, but rather that you develop a deep inner peace that is no longer disturbed by external circumstances. Instead of reacting impulsively to every setback, you observe, reflect, and respond from a place of wisdom. The small irritations that once consumed your energy no longer matter. You become more patient, more present, and more attuned to the rhythm of life rather than constantly fighting against it. Perhaps the most beautiful sign of stepping into your power is the ability to inspire and uplift others without effort. Your transformation is not only for you, it radiates outward, affecting those around you. People begin to notice the change, drawn to the calm and strength you exude. Your energy becomes magnetic, not because you are seeking attention, but because authenticity is powerful. You no longer need to convince anyone of your growth. It is evident in the way you move through the world. Once you align with this energy, life starts working with you instead of against you. The struggles that once defined your existence fade into the background, replaced by a sense of ease and purpose. You no longer live in survival mode, reacting to life's circumstances. You become a creator, actively shaping your reality with intention. There is no more waiting for the right moment, no more postponing happiness until certain conditions are met. You realize that everything you need is already within you, and that understanding changes everything. Stepping into your power is not a single moment of enlightenment, but an ongoing journey. There will still be challenges, but they will no longer define you. There will still be moments of doubt, but they will pass without shaking your foundation. And with each step forward, you will continue to see more evidence that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The power you once searched for has always been there, and now that you have awakened to it, life will never be the same again. Chapter 8. Living with Purpose. Your role in the bigger picture. The power that has awakened within you is not meant to be kept for yourself alone. It is not just a force for personal success, comfort, or achievement, but something far greater. It is the key to stepping into your true role in the universe, the role you were always meant to fulfill. Too often, People believe their lives are small, insignificant, or separate from the greater whole. But no life is isolated. No person exists without purpose, and no awakening is meant to remain confined within a single individual. Once this power is realized, a greater responsibility emerges. The responsibility to use it not only for self-transformation, but for the benefit of others. Many go through life searching for meaning, wondering why they are here, and questioning whether their existence has any real significance. They look for purpose in careers, relationships, or material success, hoping that something outside of themselves will give them a sense of fulfillment. But true purpose is not found in external pursuits alone. It is discovered through alignment with the infinite power that flows through all things. When a person recognizes that they are not separate from this force, their perspective shifts. They begin to see that they are not merely individuals moving through life aimlessly, but essential pieces of a greater design. They are here for a reason, and the awakening of their power is not an end in itself, but a call to action. With awareness comes responsibility. Those who understand their own inner strength also understand that this knowledge is not meant to be hoarded but shared. Every person who awakens to their power becomes a light for others, whether they intend to or not. Their presence, their actions, and even their thoughts begin to radiate an energy that influences those around them. Just as a single flame can ignite countless others without losing its own brightness, one awakened soul has the ability to inspire change in the lives of many. There is no need for grand gestures or extraordinary acts to make an impact. Purpose is not about seeking fame or recognition. It is about living each day with intention, integrity, and a deep awareness of the power within. It is found in the way one speaks, the way one treats others, and the way one chooses to respond to challenges. A person aligned with their true power does not need to force their influence. They simply embody it. Others are drawn to their strength, not because of what they have, but because of what they are. Living with purpose means stepping beyond the self and recognizing that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the greater whole. It means understanding that kindness, wisdom, and compassion are as powerful as any external achievement. It means realizing that the world is not changed by waiting for others to take action, but by stepping forward and becoming the change itself. Some may hesitate, believing they are not ready, not qualified, or not strong enough to make a difference. But the very realization of inner power is proof that they are already equipped with everything they need. There is no waiting for the right moment, no seeking permission to step into their purpose. The time is always now. Once a person awakens to their power, they are already walking the path they were meant to follow. The influence of an awakened individual extends far beyond what can be seen. The positive energy they cultivate, the love they share, the wisdom they offer, all of it ripples outward, affecting the lives of others in ways they may never fully understand. A kind word spoken at the right moment, an act of generosity, the silent strength of someone who refuses to be shaken by life's challenges, all of these things inspire those who are still searching, those who have yet to recognize their own power. There is no greater fulfillment than living in alignment with this truth. When one steps into their role as a force for good, as a guiding light for others, they are no longer simply existing. They are fully alive. The struggles that once seemed overwhelming become stepping stones. The doubts that once held them back lose their grip. Life is no longer about mere survival, but about expansion, growth, and contribution. This is the ultimate purpose of awakening: to recognize one's power, to step into it fully, and to use it for the upliftment of all. The universe is not separate from the individual, and the individual is not separate from the universe. To awaken is to see this connection clearly, to embrace it, and to live in a way that honors it. And once this realization takes hold, once a person truly understands the magnitude of the force within them, they become not just a seeker of truth, but a beacon of it. Their light shines not for their own glory, but to illuminate the path for others, and in doing so, they fulfill the highest calling of all. Conclusion: the journey to awakening. There comes a moment in every life when a choice must be made, whether to continue moving through the world as before, bound by limitations, doubts, and distractions, or to step into something greater, something more profound. The journey through these chapters has not been about acquiring something new, but about rediscovering what has always been there. It has been an unveiling, a peeling back of layers of false beliefs, conditioned fears, and external noise to reveal the infinite power that exists within. From the very beginning, this power has been present, waiting to be recognized. It is the unseen force that shapes life, the quiet strength beneath every challenge, the limitless potential that has remained untapped, not because it was absent, but because the mind was clouded with illusions. The illusion of limitation, the illusion of separation, the illusion of powerlessness, each one creating a false reality that dictated choices, emotions, and the perception of what was possible. But suddenly something has changed. Awareness has started to replace these delusions with clarity, confidence, and goal direction. These facts change everything when one realizes that ideas are the architects of reality, that nothing outside can control one's fate, and that actual transformation starts inside. They shed the weight of pointless struggle and replace it with knowledge that life is a process of unfolding, of aligning oneself with the natural flow of the cosmos, not a conflict. This trip has also made it clear that power serves purposes beyond only personal ones. It is something to be expressed and shared, not something to be stockpiled. One does not rise alone when they wake to their actual capacity. For others, their metamorphosis becomes a lighthouse, a source of motivation still under quest. The awakened person walks the planet differently, not demanding, not pushing, but rather just modeling power, knowledge, and inner calm. And simply this presence will inspire transformation in the life of others. There is no final destination in this journey of awakening. It is not about reaching a single moment of enlightenment and then remaining there. It is a continuous process, an ever-expanding realization of one's own capacity to create, to grow, to influence, to live with purpose. There will still be challenges, there will still be moments of doubt, but they will no longer define the journey. Instead, they will be seen for what they truly are: opportunities to deepen awareness, to refine understanding, to step even further into alignment with the infinite power within. Now, the question remains: what will you do with this realization? Will you let it fade into the background, a passing thought that gets buried beneath the distractions of daily life? Or will you embrace it, embody it, and let it transform everything? The choice is yours. The power has always been yours, and the moment you decide to live in alignment with it, life will never be the same again.